All right, Eric. So before we talk NASCAR, let's talk IndyCar. As promised, this is it. This is the final race coming up on Sunday. California, right? Monterey?
Yep, yep. Laguna Seca. Yeah, it's one of those tracks that is like a Darlington of the road course
So it's
in a
old.
sense. It's old, tires degrade quick, but these drivers are still good. Starting position still means everything. It's still hard to pass. I think 21 of the 23 winners there all started in the top 6 or top 5. Really, if you make the Fast 6, you're just further going to enhance yourself chances of winning. But where IndyCar is different than NASCAR is this isn't where there's 5 drivers that are still mathematically alive. Where NASCAR, we get to the final round, you got 4 drivers.
Yeah.
It's the top 4 and then everybody else. IndyCar is different. You're not going to have the 5 guys in their own zip code and then everybody else on back. It's where this is going to be interesting is it's still points. It's not like it's the 5 and then whoever crosses the finish line first, whether they be 10th or first, wins the championship. We're going on points still. So Will Power leads Scott Dixon and Joseph Newgarden by 20. So there's really the 3 realistic chances. Marcus Ericsson's 39 points back and forth. Scott McLaughlin's 5th, and he's 41 back. They're pretty much in the must-win. They've got to win and still need help. And it's still – and where this gets interesting, where I can put it, I guess, in layman's terms, you get 50 points to win an IndyCar race. McLaughlin's 41 back. So that's a 9-point differential just right there if he wins. Well, here's where the kicker is. You get at least 5 points for starting the race. So Will Power, at that point, just by taking the green flag. So actually, hold on. I didn't explain it further. 50 points to win. You get a point for leading a lap. You get a point for a pole. And you get 2 points for most laps led. So 54 points is the max somebody can come in and score. So remember I said McLaughlin's 41 down and Ericsson's 39. So even if the most they can do is get 54, well, Will Power at that point, being that many points up, doesn't have to do much to still, even if they have a perfect weekend, he doesn't have to do much to cover them. And you get 5 points for starting the race. So 54 minus 5 means Will Power was 49 points or farther back. You don't have a shot. McLaughlin's 41 back. So that means Will Power really only needs to score 7 points, which would be like a 23rd place finish.
So the only thing he doesn't have to do is wreck.
To cover those 2. Now, Dixon and Newgarden, this is where it gets interesting. They're 20 back. Again, like I said, you get 50 for winning, and he's 20 points back. So let's just say Scott Dixon wins the race, doesn't get the pole. Scott Dixon hasn't won a pole outside of the Indy 500 since 2016. Odds are Scott Dixon's not winning the pole on Sunday or for Saturday. Marcus Ericsson has never won a pole, so odds are he's not getting the pole. So let's just say that they do. Well, if you win the race, you lead a lap, so there's 1 bonus point. There's 51. Let's just say they lead the most laps. Let's just say he gets 53 points. Let's say Power finishes 3rd. That's 35 points. Will Power barely covers them. But let's say Will Power finishes 5th. That's 30 points. He loses.
Scott Dixon has a realistic chance as long as he wins the race.
They've got a realistic shot.
Okay.
Yeah. So if he wins the race, here's where things can get even more interesting. Colton Herta has led all but 10 laps there the last 2 years from the pole. He's dominated. Andretti's cars are good there. They're not running for a championship. They don't have to get out of these guys' way, and they won't. They're like, look, we don't care about you. We want to win the race. This is Alexander Rossi's last race with Andretti. He might want a mic drop moment. Hey, I'm going to go out and dominate this thing. Romain Grosjean finished 3rd last year with Coyne. Now he's in an Andretti car. Let's say those 3 guys are up there mixing it up for the one. That's 3 positions that could affect Will Power. Let's just say Dixon finishes 2nd, and let's say Will Power's 7th. Dixon wins the championship. So it's not over, but that's where it's really between those 3.
Okay.
Because the Andretti cars can make it real interesting here and take some spots at these other guys where this is what I wish NASCAR would have. And maybe a point structure at the final race where you don't just get the 4 and they're running away. What happens if Kevin Harvick, who won 9 times at Phoenix, isn't in the championship at 4, but runs like he usually does at Phoenix and is up there mixing it up? It could change. I think this thing's far from over still. Ganassi guys tested at Laguna Seca last week. They didn't test at Portland. Penske guys did. Penske guys dominated. Well, what happens if Ganassi's test leads to some domination and Penske's on the other side? So This is far from over. Dixon's still got a shot.
Yeah, the only thing that I was a little bit concerned with as far as the standings is that you have, let's see, McLaughlin has 3 wins. Newgarden has 5 wins.
5 wins.
Power has 1 win. All right, so you got Power in first place with 1 win. Newgarden's in second place with 5 wins. That doesn't. Sorry.
No. Well, think of this. Dixon's tied for second with 2 wins. Dixon and Power combined have 2 less wins than Joseph Newgarden.
Yeah.
If you want to throw Marcus Ericsson in fourth in there, he's got 1 win. So Power's got 1 win. Ericsson's got 1 win. Dixon's got 2 wins. That's 4. Newgarden's got 5.
Yeah.
His thing is, this is where the consistency pays. Newgarden has as many finishes 13th or worse as he does wins.
Sure.
Where Power, if I'm not mistaken, has 8 or 9 podiums. So that's where he's been consistent. But does consistency cost him in an event? Let's just say he finishes 4th again and Dixon wins. Consistency costs him a championship because he didn't have the wins. Where Dixon would pick up his 3rd win in theory and could. So
I just think that when you have 5 wins and another driver has 1, this consistency thing has gone too far for me. I don't mind if it's 1, maybe even 2, but 4 more wins. I'm sorry, that's just something's wrong with the points. It's got to change.
Well, and that's where I feel like he may not win this championship. It feels like it all takes care of itself, right? It just feels like we saw it in NASCAR. Yes, Austin Dillon ended up winning, but with the Kurt Busch thing, we kept all these wild card winners, and we're going to have points all over. And then if you looked at the overall standings going to Daytona, the top 16 were the 16 playoff drivers until Austin Dillon won, which he was only like 18th. So it kind of all took care of itself. Well, I have a feeling this is going to take care of itself. I have a feeling Newgarden may win and just win the championship, or 3 wins for Dixon. That's respectable enough to get the title, because you know where Will Power finished there last year. 26.
Oh, wow. Okay, well, this
is not one of Penske's better tracks, so I feel like this may be more sided towards Dixon. He started 16th last week in Portland and drove all the way up to 3rd. Could that be a championship type winning move for him that put him only 20 points back going to this race?
Even though Penske has 8 of the 20 wins on the natural road course races, you're saying that the specific track is not
none of them are
Penske.
Here. Yeah, none of them are here. They haven't won here since like the kart days. So we're talking decades ago. This has not been an ideal track, and in fact, I've got it here. Their finishes in Laguna, just for Newgarden, 8th and 7th. McLaughlin finished 12th there as a rookie last year. Power was 2nd in 2019, but 26th last year. So the door's open. Where Dixon's got 2 top 5s and 3 tries. Ericsson was 7th. Alex Palou. I'm sorry, I'm looking at Portland. Dixon was 3rd in 2019. Ericsson was 6th last year, and Alex Palou, their teammate, who's not championship eligible anymore, was 2nd last year. And they tested there. So they could have found something where Penske wasn't strong at Portland. They tested there, and they were top 3 every weekend, every session. This could be sided towards Ganassi and Andretti. And Andretti, don't sleep on them. Could really turn things around and shake this thing up too.
Okay.
So it's far from over.
Well, your preview, you have one preview already up. That's the pre-race media preview, track trends and so forth at racereviewonline.net. So check that out. We'll have a link, of course, for everybody in the description area of the show. Gotcha. And quickly also, you mentioned the track position. If you just look at it this year, you finished 1st or 2nd front row, 5 out of the 6 on the natural road courses, 9 of the last 10 front row natural road courses, including the last 4 Laguna winners. So, with 3 poles, so out of those 4. So, you better qualify on the front row if you want to win this race.
Pretty much, yep. And we'll have a bunch. I've got so many articles I've been waiting to unload that are sitting in my drafts. That the reason we're taping this one a little bit differently is we've got a Zoom call later, and then sometimes they do a championship Zoom call.
Yeah.
Granted, 2021 it was, but 2022 we're kind of getting back to in person. So I have not received anything. I've already got quotes from these guys. I've already talked to them, but I'm seeing if I need to update them. Do I need to talk to them again? So if not, I've got them all waiting. I'm probably about to unload 10 championship preview articles that are just sitting there that I'm just waiting. Because if there's no Zoom call, I'm gonna release them. They're out there. But if there's a Zoom call, I just want to see if maybe they got anything more interesting to say that I don't. I mean, because you never know. Sometimes these Zoom calls with these drivers, because they're all on there together, sometimes they get spicy. Sometimes veterans will play head games, they'll say things. So right now I've got them from talking to them individually. So I'm just seeing if anything changes. If not, then they're all ready to go.
Okay.
So at least by this point tomorrow, they'll all be up, because I'll know whether we're doing Zoom calls or not, because Friday's practice. They're not going to do a Zoom call on Friday when they're going to be practicing. So yeah, we're just waiting to see.
Sounds good, Eric. Appreciate it. Looking forward to the coverage and the race, of course, on Sunday, and then that'll be it for the IndyCar season. We are working on more IndyCar coverage for 2023, so keep that in mind. That's why it's important to subscribe to not only these shows, but definitely the press conferences, the winning press conferences that we post after every race. So the more you do that, the more that we know how much you guys really want to see this kind of coverage. And F1 also. It's very possible that I've already started a little bit of a dialogue with CJ on possibly doing some F1 for us next year or so. But we'll see. We still got some time to work that out. But either way, that's next season. Enjoy the race on Sunday. RaceReviewOnline.net. And again, Eric's going to have a smorgasbord of articles coming out definitely later today, the latest. So, Eric, appreciate it. We'll talk to you in a few seconds when we talk NASCAR.
Thank you. Sounds good.